Swedish twins Ursula and Sabina likely made their travel plans to Ireland without the intention of murder and chaos, as their medical histories offered no illustrations of mental disorder or sickness. Yet while traveling in the foreign country, Ursula and Sabina suddenly became transfixed with highway vehicles, repeatedly jumping out in front of the cars and crashing into them. While Ursula's legs were broken, Sabina was hardly injured and had to have 6 police officers sedate her as she attempted to continue her mad spree of self-harm. Sabina was released from prison the morning after, provided her relaxed nature, only to murder a random man the very same day and leap off a bridge. Sabina survived and was imprisoned, and doctors cited the twins' sudden spirals into madness as temporary insanity. Craig and Mark Sanders finally found love in twin sisters Diane and Darlene after meeting the two women at a Twin Day celebration. While Craig dated Diane and Mark dated Darlene, the four were soon inseparable, planning all of their events together. After winning several $1,000s in a casino, a group decision was made to get married, and the four planned a joint wedding ceremony. At Diane and Darlene's insistence, Craig and Mark moved into houses with their wives right next to each other, and then, to almost no one's surprise, Diane and Craig later had twin boys. In 1940, twins Jim Lewis and Jim Springer were separated at birth after being put up for adoption. When they finally met at age 39, both found shocking similarities in their lifestyles. Their respective adoptive parents both named each Jim. Both men married twice, first to a woman named Linda and then to women named Betty. Both had dogs growing up with the same name of Toy. Both named their sons James Allen. Both were police officers who favored the same beer, cigarettes, and even drove the same car. Jennifer and June Gibbons had a very secretive relationship and would only talk to the other twin by way of secret code whenever they were in public. As the two grew up, they would become inseparable, creating a number of games and codes to demonstrate a second language that only they could understand, while also, on occasion, fighting so maliciously they often tried to kill each other. At one point, Jennifer attempted to strangle June with a radio cord, and another time, June attempted to push Jennifer off a bridge. After a number of petty crimes, the two were committed to an asylum, where they befriended the journalist who would go on to tell their story. One day, after speaking with the journalist, Jennifer informed her that she and June had decided that Jennifer would die. On the day the twins were transferred out of the hospital, Jennifer died from a rare heart problem that had never been previously detected. When Edith Casas fell in love with the man of her dreams, her parents decided to intervene before she could marry. While Victor remained Edith's Prince Charming, he was currently serving 13 years in prison for the murder of Edith's twin sister. Victor, who had killed Edith's sister Johanna just 2 years earlier, had a craving to continue his sexual relationship with Johanna, who was, at the time of her death, a model. Adamant his relationship with Johanna was casual and not romantic, Victor professed his true love was really Edith, and he definitely wouldn't murder this one this time. But Edith's parents intervened, begging the courts to postpone the wedding so a mental evaluation could be performed on Edith. This way her parents could find a loophole to prevent Edith from marrying her sister's killer. Edith passed the evaluation, however, and on February 14th, 2013, she married Victor, who is still serving time for his original crime of killing his new married wife's own twin. In 2009, a luxury department store in Germany was faced with a massive problem. A jewel thief had managed to get away with almost $7 million in product, and there were 2 suspects in the hands of police. It was assumed the crime had been committed by either Hassan O or Abbas O, and the result of a DNA scan meant to pinpoint the true criminal. But both men had to be let go after the courts could not come to the total conclusion of which twin did the crime. As twins share the same DNA, it's nearly impossible to tell apart which of the brothers did the crime. A television show in 2003 set to find out the truth behind telepathy, using twin brothers Richard and Damien Powles in separate sealed-off rooms. While Damien had a polygraph machine attached to him, Richard was having his hand forced into ice-cold water repeatedly. The polygraph, built to sense changes in breathing rate and the micro-responses in skin and muscles, would demonstrate if Richard could effectively feel the distress of his brother. Astonishingly, when Richard reacted to the cold water with a loud gasp, Damien's polygraph reacted. Later, Richard was scared with a snake popping out of a box. Again, Damien's polygraph reacted at the exact moment Richard was frightened, asserting the shared experience of the twins. While the twins in this story chose to remain anonymous, the tragedy of their experience proves their decision to be understandable. After being separated at birth, two twins eventually found each other by chance and claimed to have felt an inevitable attraction to the other that neither could ignore. Thinking they had finally discovered their soulmate, they began a romantic relationship and then decided to get married and start a family. Not long after the two were wed, it was revealed they were brother and sister, and the courts soon rushed in to invalidate their marriage. In Finland in 2002, a 73-year-old man was killed tragically in a cycling accident, having been struck by a large transportation truck. As police quickly raced to find the identity of the man, they were soon informed another 73-year-old man had been killed by a large truck while he was cycling on the side of the road just 2 hours earlier. Thinking there had been some mistake and the accident had been duplicated in the records, the officers attempted to correct the issue, only to find that there was indeed two 73-year-old men who were killed by a large transportation truck while cycling. The two men turned out to be twin brothers whose shared cycling activity ended up being both of their demise. And yet another story to provide evidence for telepathy between two twins. 15-year-old Leanne Houghton was playing in her room when a feeling of distress took over her body. Sensing something was very wrong with her sister Gemma, who was taking a bath at that time, she quickly raced into the bathroom, only to find her sister had fallen unconscious in the water and was now drowning. Leanne pulled her sister out and administered CPR, bringing her sister back and saving her life. When asked, Leanne described the feeling of her sister's drowning as a little voice in her head telling her Gemma's life was in danger.